Welcome to our weekly maritime vlog. I'm Corey Ransom with International Maritime Security Associates. This week, we're going to help answer the question, is the maritime industry ready for IMO 2021 compliance? Over the past year, actually 2 years since we've been doing this vlog, we've talked a lot about cybersecurity and different aspects of cybersecurity. I've written a number of articles about it. We've talked about this topic and we'll continue to talk about it because there's a number of things that continue to happen in the industry. So as the title suggests, is the maritime industry ready for IMO 2021 compliance? But we look even beyond that. And the answer to that is no. The maritime industry, I don't believe, in my opinion, from what I've seen, is prepared and seems to almost be in the dark ages in a lot of aspects when it comes to maritime security. Now, this is a very broad and general statement, and not every cargo operator, cruise line operator, large yacht, shoreside facility, satellite communications provider is lumped into this. There are a number of great organizations that, because of attacks that have happened to them in the past or just good cyber management, are ready for IMO 2021. So it's a very broad-reaching statement, but when you look at the industry in general, most people are not ready for IMO 2021. And this really just covers kind of the shipboard side of it. We're not talking about shoreside facilities, satellite communication providers, IT providers, or a number of other companies and organizations that support the maritime industry when it comes to that. So the reason we wanted to talk about this is because of an article that came out post the Black Hat conference, and we looked through that quite a bit for different vulnerabilities that people find when they're looking at different systems around the world. So the article that I'm referencing for this vlog, we'll make sure that we have it linked down in the comments section below. But there was a PhD student from Oxford University, and his team looked at the vulnerabilities of satellite communication system, specifically when it came to the internet side of it. So they took a look at how the satellite communication works and what they needed to potentially intercept those communications, which turned out that it was probably about $500 or $600 worth of equipment, some software that they had to basically design and write that you can probably actually find online, and they were able to intercept some very, very interesting satellite communication information. So when you connect to a satellite through the internet, whether you're based on land or you're connected to an aircraft or a ship at sea or whatever it is, there's two paths that take place. So there's a connection when you send something that goes back up through the satellite, back down to terrestrial stations, out to the internet, and then there's information that comes back from wherever you've sent back to the satellite, back to you. Now, the first part of that, they were not able to intercept communications because it's pretty directed. Going from your ship or your aircraft to a satellite back down to a certain land station to connect to the internet is very, very difficult to do unless you intercept in the middle of that path, which is, again, could be potentially very difficult to do. Now, on the back side of it, with information coming back to the ship or to the aircraft, that was the side they were able to intercept because the satellites transmit in a fairly wide footprint to be able to get to the receiver point. It's not, with some of them, it depends on how they're designed, so there's a lot of caveats to this, but they looked at satellites that were over the US, China, India, and the Caribbean, and they were able to get some very interesting data from ships and from other places. They were able to get passport information that a vessel was emailing to its agent about a ship arrival. They were able to get government information. There was a number of things that they were able to get through this. So we know that, again, there are some satellite communication providers that have a very secure network, and there's other communication providers that don't have a very secure network at all. Well, I've also read a number of articles in the maritime press specifically about the vulnerabilities and the number of attacks on the maritime industry. One article, which I thought was really interesting, said that the number of attacks against the maritime industry have gone up 900 times, I think it was in just 1 year. So attackers are realizing the vulnerabilities of the maritime industry when it comes to cybersecurity. So IMO 2021 is just the starting point to that. And if there's specific questions that you guys have when it comes to cybersecurity, IMO 2021 compliance, or just even look at putting a basic plan together, reach out to us here at IMSA. This is something that's within our specialty. We've got partners that we work with in the United States and Europe and other parts of the world that are very good. And there's not a lot of cost that you're going to have to spend on this program in a short period of time. When you look at cybersecurity, it gets into the overall design of your shipboard and your shoreside networks and how those networks link and come together. And there's some very easy and very cost-effective things, again, depending on the type of system, networks, and vessel that you have, that you can do to secure your networks when it comes to any type of cyber vulnerabilities. And like I said, if you have questions about that, reach out to us. I've actually written a couple of articles about this, and there are a number of great references out there when it comes to how do we just start to look at the basics of securing our vessels. And then also along with that, our shoreside facilities. When we talk to customers, one of the things that we look at is you always need to look at integrating cybersecurity into your overall IT budget, and cyber and IT should work together. Not all IT companies are cyber aware or have an understanding of cybersecurity. A lot of the job of an IT company is to help you get infrastructure in place and connectivity in place to do what you want to do, how you want to do, when you want to do on board a vessel or shoreside facility. IT companies that have a cyber component or cyber expertise are actually a lot better than just IT companies, because when they look at this design and construction for your vessel or your shoreside facility, they will also incorporate cybersecurity into that. So how do we build networks? How do we build plug networks, wireless networks when it comes to cybersecurity? And you really need cyber specialists to be able to take a look at that. And the other big piece of that, it's not just about gadgets, it's not just about programs and firewalls and cybersecurity. The other big piece to that is personnel training. So once you have the program in place, a big part of that should be training and retraining of your personnel over what the latest threats and the potential vulnerabilities are within your network. And then throughout the life of your network, your company, your ship, you want to continue to test and see where those vulnerabilities are. Vulnerabilities pop up in equipment all the time. So with that, as part of your cyber program, you want to look at how do we try to mitigate those vulnerabilities, but first just have an understanding of what they are. There's a lot of programs in place that you can work with outside cybersecurity companies, not just ours, but there's some other good ones out there as well that I would highly recommend to help you put that program in place, because it's a lot better for you to pay less money now to have the right infrastructure in place than to pay 10 or 20 times that potentially in the future if you have any type of vulnerability or attack on your company or your ship.
Hey, thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate all the viewers that we have on this channel. Make sure you hit that like button for all the videos you like. Subscribe to this channel so you get notified when we post new videos. Also, connect to us through our social media, detailed in the banner above and also in the comments section below. If you have any questions when it comes to maritime security, maritime risk management, or maritime regulatory compliance, don't hesitate to reach out to the experts here at IMSA, because we're always happy to steer you in the right direction.